Alright guys, we are reaching the halfway point as this is the third game of my coverage today. Let's see, Team Empire versus Comanche. Going to be a good one. Team Empire, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's all known. It's kind of assumed that Team Empire is going to be the most scary looking team in the CIS regional qualifiers, and Comanche, that is one of the teams that made it through the CIS close qualifiers. So actually, no, that I'm lying now. That's not true. They got invited. That's right. And that's it was like a surprise to me in the beginning because Comanche have not really done as well in like lately as they have been in the past. But they still, from their previous accomplishments, they secured themselves an invite, and here they are. They have to show what they can do, and Empire is definitely going to be one of the harder teams to beat. I believe the Comanche lineup is a little bit different compared to what they actually use normally right now. I think they had to change something in their roster because of the invite to the close qualifiers, since there was a roster lock and whatnot. I can't remember what exactly that was. I'm not sure who exactly it was. I think it was maybe like Screen that wasn't in the current roster, but I could be wrong. Either way, let's see. Team Empire, they ban away the Night Stalker as well as Nyx Assassin, and AA plus Clockwork gets banned out by Comanche. And this is pretty much what's been happening in every single game so far today in the CIS region. 3 roaming heroes being banned out, and then the fourth one being picked, as the Sand King is now the one that gets picked up from Team Empire. And Comanche, they go for the Puck as well as the Witch Doctor, so most likely going to be the mid lane hero that doesn't really fear getting ganked from Sand King too much. Very evasive here, very hard to do anything about, and Witch Doctor just you know, whatever lane support that Comanche prefers to play around with.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, no one likes to play against Cask, of course, so that's all.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Disruptor.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
All right, Disruptor. Empire. A little bit interesting to pick your 2 support heroes. First 2 picks, remaining. That always kind of locks your lanes in place, but I guess the Sand King could always be moved to the off lane. Usually it's just not a thing that happens that much. It's very few teams that want to have Sand King off lane unless it's a really, really good lane for the Sand King. As position 4 Sand King has just been dominating so many games lately, so there's usually not really any reason to not have it as a position 4. Same thing as, not as much Clockwork, but like same thing as what's it called, Nyx Assassin as well. Having it as a position 4 has been paying off a lot more than having it offlane lately, so we'll see. Huskar and Razor gets banned up by the side of Comanche. The Huskar ban is a little bit interesting, but I guess it is an Empire hero. Maybe Chappie wanted to play some Huskar. Drow gets removed by Empire themselves. There's already 2 ranged heroes. In case Comanche were to go for the Puck offlane, then mixing that into a Drow lineup would be very, very powerful. And even having a Puck mid would still be very good. They could pick Bat Rider for the offlane perhaps, and still have a lot of ranged heroes to fit with the Draw aura.
10 seconds remaining.
Venomancer gets banned out as well from the side of Team Empire. Always a nasty hero to play against. It's very popular right now to pick safe lane, carry Venomancer. And it actually does a lot of work. Like, it's a hero that can push the tier 1 tower in its own lane against pretty much any offlaner. You don't need to help the support too much, so you can focus on roaming and securing the other lanes. And no matter what you actually get on Venomancer, you still just
10
do so much
seconds
damage in
remaining.
the fights. Like if you have a Venomancer getting a good ultimate off
5
with a
seconds
Gale into a
remaining.
Puck ultimate into a Ghost, like all of these big team fight spells from the side of Comanche,
Reserve time.
you would get easy kills, especially on the supports. Alright, Conquer.
Life Stealer.
Radiant team pick.
Lifestealer from team. This is a good pick though. Conker is also popular hero, good roaming hero, decent against Sand King because you can't really abuse your your defensive spells that well against Conker because of the X mark. Also good against Glimpse, very good against Glimpse. You just X mark when someone gets Glimpse from afar, and then you just pull them right back where they came from so they don't get killed. However, the lifesteal is a very good response to both the Conk as well as the Witch Doctor and Puck, because all of these three heroes, they are nothing but magic damage. So lifestealer, whenever he gets his rage off, he will be able to do whatever he wants to against those heroes. Remaining. They cannot do anything to stop him. Well, the Puck can obviously just phase shift and join the way.
Remaining.
But the Witch Doctor and the Conker, they have no defensive spells, so they can, I mean, you know, use the boat and then just hope that 50% reduced damage is going to be enough to keep you alive. That's pretty much what the Conqueror will do. And the Witch Doctor will just run away and hope for the best. The Juggernaut in the meantime, Blade Fury to deal with the static, the Glimpse back, the Static Storm in case you get it off in time. Also good against the Sand King, of course. You can take away the open wounds from the lifesteal with the Blade Fury, as well as when you get a Manta style. And Omnislash is one of the better spells at dealing with lifesteal, I suppose. You don't really want to pick a hero that man fights lifesteal necessarily, unless you go for like a Sven or a Lycan, or a Troll. So Juggernaut is a fine hero. Can also be put in the mid lane in case of emergency, so it doesn't show the lanes that much necessarily. Good in a tri-lane situation. Good at getting kills in the lane with heroes like Witch Doctor and Conker, who can just set up for the Juggernaut to get a good spin off. So I like it. TA gets picked up by the side of Team Empire. That's pretty nasty though. TA, good matchup against the Puck in the mid lane. Lots of damage as well. There's not
5 seconds
that many. There's not that many burn spells on the side of Comanche right now. It's pretty much the spin and the torrent, which is the only way that can get through the refraction in a good way. Omnislash doesn't. Ghost Ship doesn't. Witch Doctor, I guess the Death Ward can burn through it quite fast as well. Puck has a horrible time playing against refraction. So it's a nice TA pick. Also fits pretty well with the two support heroes Team Empire have already. They have insane magic damage with the Disruptor and the Sand King both, and then they have two heroes that does insane amounts of right-click damage as well. So they have a little bit of everything. And the last hero to fit it all together, I would imagine is just going to be your like standard standard whatever initiating offlane, or maybe a mech carrier. There's the Darkseer still left in the pool, for example, which would be good with any of these heroes. Good with the Disruptor, amazing vac walls, vac wall combos, good at searching up the lifesteal on the TA, making sure they are relevant, making sure they can keep up with the enemy in every single fight. So I would be surprised if that did not get banned. But I believe Comanche is the ones who have the next pick, so they could be looking to pick it themselves. They also have some wombo combo with like a Vac into Dream Call, Ghost Ships shenanigans, but the Darks is definitely scarier for Empire, so see if they remove it or not. Alright, they decide to ban out the Bat Rider. Also another option, but I don't really see a reason for Empire to pick Batrider into Puck. Very difficult to catch with Lasso, and you already have a good lane here against the Batrider, so not the best ban in my eyes. Sure, the Darkseer lane against the Jug is also kind of whatever, like the Juggernaut deals well with the Darkseer lane, but the hero itself can just do so much work in this game.
Dire team pick.
And if you don't want that, well, what else would you want? Not Darkseer. Enigma could be an option as a teamfight hero. Kind of hard against Puck, though. You could have Sanking offlane and pick... Okay, they go for the Axe. I was going to say Sanking offlane and go for Silencer position 4, because then you have a much easier way of dealing with the Puck, but I guess you already have Glimpse Static Storm from the Disruptor, so you don't really care too much about the Puck. So the Axe is going to be the offlane hero of choice. Ghostic, he does play a lot of Axe. One of his more comfortable offlane heroes. You can always get good farm. It's a good lane here against the Juggernaut. Kind of difficult against the tri-lane because I have so much kill potential, but if you ever get rolling with the Axe, then he can very easily solo kill the Jug. When you get that Blink Blade Mail timing, the Jug will always be an easy hero to kill. So it will be a difficult game for the Juggernaut to do what he has to do to win the game. In the meantime, though, Comanche, they go for Medusa 5th pick, which is going to be the mid lane here. So they are indeed going to go for that sneaky offlane Puck, which I like a lot. I feel like once you see the TA, that's really when you have to decide whether or not you want to have the Puck in the mid lane. If you have the option to send the Puck to the off lane and have someone else against the TA, I think you should pretty much 9 out of 10 times take that option. Remaining. Because you want the Puck to have a good lane when he's mid. You don't want him to play against the TA. 5 seconds remaining. The Medusa is not really going to be much better of a lane against TA, but he can farm against the TA, and at least this means they have a good mid to late game answer for the lifesteal as well as the TA to an extent, since the Medusa is such an insanely tanky hero, and the ultimate is almost unplayable for the lifestealer in the late game.
Prepare for battle.
Alright guys, nature called for a second there, apologies. Alright guys, let's get on the way with this match. Empire versus Comanche. Do it. Early warding, let's see. Bottom lane, kill ward.
30 seconds to battle.
Pretty normal to wish to see whether or not the Axe is jungling, and if he's jungling, you want to just be able to determine, like, see when he goes back and forth from the jungle, so you can kind of shove in the lane when he goes to the jungle just to make him waste a lot of time moving back and forward. Mid lane, that's a very, very deep lane ward, but they want to have as much vision of the TA as possible, I suppose, so the Medusa can get a good time in the mid lane. And the top lane, Puck, a hero that usually needs a lot of babysitting to be able to do anything in the off lane. Depending on how many heroes they commit, it's going to be a lifesteal lane, so there's not really too much you can do in terms of putting pressure on the lane. They just have to pretty much play out the lane. Like, the Puck will probably just use most of his time dodging out the lifestealer, trying to hit him, trying to fall him down and hit and kill him, and get as much experience as he can. He will have to play the Earthshaker kind of offlane role where you get experience, but you don't really get a lot of farm. You don't really do a lot of work in the early game. You just try to get your levels and try to get whatever farm you can. And if you can keep one support here, then then that's fine. Honestly, he even goes for the phase shift level 1, so he's going to not really be able to do too much. But I don't mind this because that means he can trade hits. He knows that he doesn't really have to use the illusionary orb in first level because the alive seal will never get close enough to use the openings anyways if you just keep your distance. So he'd rather just make sure that he can trade hits with the disruptor nicely, and you know, just dodging a couple of bullets once in a while is always nice. Pashka's doing a lot of work pressing him and forcing him to use his region, but there's only a couple more Thunder Strikes left for this guy, so he's not going to be able to do that harassment too much longer. Let's see. Roger on the Sand King is going to make a rotation to the bottom, and he actually found and stacked. He stacked one of the camps for the axe and he found the other one. So he was being a little bit greedy. He will now move into this hard camp that's also been stacked and found that together with the axe that will secure it. That's a lot of farm going to the side of Empire. Roger, he's getting level 2 for free off of this. The axe is going to be a little bit in danger. He is level 2 himself right now, but Ben comes out on top of him, and that is going to be very difficult to survive. There's no Maledict right now, only level 1 the Witch Doctor. He went for the cask. If he gets some good bounces off, that should be a dead axe. Otherwise, things might change. So let's see the axe. It will be spun on the Jug, getting loads of damage off. Just a little bit more, and he will get the last click off as the axe will be taken down. In the meantime, Roger, he tried to do what he could to keep the axe safe by stunning the Kunk as well as the Witch Doctor, but that was just not enough. Nothing you can do against the spinning Jug after all, so I mean, you can try to block him, but he was not in a position to like borrow in front of the Jug and block him. And even if he did that, he would most likely be the one dying. So I guess at that point it doesn't really matter too much. But either way, Empire's playing it greedy, having Roger just focus on his own levels. He will probably even like okay. I was gonna say, if this was like a Seitai camp, one of these camps, then he would have probably farmed it on the way back. Then he would get level 3, he could buy his boots, like his full Tranquil boots and whatnot. But since it's a Centaur, it takes too much time to farm with Sandstorm, so he will just walk back to this. This is one of the meta things on Sand King though, getting multiple points in Sandstorm early on rather than getting Caustic. Most people's is discussing whether or not 1 point at least is worth it or not, but the second point in Sandstorm can actually do so much work as well in terms of farming camps, so it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard for me to decide whether or not I like the 2-2 build or the 2-1-1 build more. I think if you want to get Sandstorm early, then getting a second point is fine. Then if anything, you would rather want to go like 2-2-1 or something like that. We'll see. Roger, using a Sandstorm in the bottom lane, dodging out a lot of that spin damage. Just get Torrent back in, but just have those bars back available. He should be able to survive, and he's just making sure that he's securing some of that farm for the axe. The axe will not have to deal with the next spin from the Juggernaut. He does have a Mango available, he does have a Clarity as well, so the Juggernaut can just keep on regenerating mana. But either way, if the Sand King can just tank a little bit of that damage, make them use spells on him, then the axe will have a little bit of a better lane, so he will be happy with how that went. He will play line in the mid lane, trying his very best to get last hits, but looks like FN's is dumpstering this lane as 23 last hits and 13 denies with the TA versus the 7 last hits from the Medusa. And this is the pain of playing against a Templar Assassin. He has about 120 damage per right clicks with a reflection damage up, whereas the Medusa is sitting on a mere 60. The room will be taken away from the Medusa as well. This Disruptor doing a lot of work. We do have the TA going into position. But the Medusa is just going to walk the other way. He will have to take the long road around and he will be able to survive. But that is one more quick wave being lost of experience from the Medusa. Potentially even another one, as he has to take such a long detour around to get back into the lane. And he's also going to be both low HP and low mana, so this is not a fun lane for him anymore. The Kunk is going to be moving in and maybe try and do something about it. The puck in the top lane is level 4 right now. Not contesting the life steal too much. Only has a couple of lasts in his name, but well, whatever can help is going to be nice. It kind of feels like Empire is already getting out of hand in this matchup though. The Sand King is getting a lot of CS, 15 CS on your support hero. The Axe is getting, well, not necessarily free farm, but he's getting some farm. He's getting a good amount of levels in the offlane. He's keeping up with the puck, and he's also getting more lasts than the puck. So the fact that they're winning the mid lane this hard and they're still getting out of position 4 here with this much farm is insane. He has the second point in Sandstorm indeed. He goes into the bar, will miss it as the Juggernaut went for the spin in time. Dramatically, there's going to be a lot of help with Ghostic. Ghostic actually saw a little bit of that spin because the Juggernaut thought he was going to go the other way, and looks like he will be able to survive. The last hit of that Malady is going to be enough. He actually tried to man-fight the Conquer, hoping for another proc of that spin, but did not happen, and despite the Conquer dying, the Axe will have to take a fall first, as Screen will get the last hit. Maybe a little bit too much YOLO from the Axe. He even tries to use a salve that almost got nothing forward, but well, he tried. He's not going on the jug, just harass him a little bit. He can probably get his level 5 before the supports come back into the lane, and just continue to put pressure on this lane. And well, Puck in the top lane, as you can see, he's not really having too much fun. The lifesteal is just running him down using his rage right click. He actually has 3 points in Beast, so he's going to be able to. So he's reaching loads of experience. He's doing a lot of damage. He has insane sustain, and he's also going for the Midas Rush. So having those points in Feast just means that you can farm the big creeps in the hard camp without having that sustain of an armlet early on. Also, there's no point getting any of your other spells if you're not going to use the core anymore anyways. Why skill up open wounds if you're not going to kill the Puck anyways, right? Point using that. You could go for rage and just use that attack speed to maybe hit the tower a little bit faster, but I don't think that's necessary ever. Okay, Shaco, maybe he has to be a little bit careful. He's taking a lot of damage from that goddamn lifesteal. GG will play line in the mid lane, is trying to recover a little bit as TA is just going back and forth from the ancients, stacking a little bit for himself, enjoying those ancient stacks very soon. Once you start farming those stacks, one of the supports can take over the mid lane, most likely the Disruptor to get his level 6, as the Sand King is already having a lot of fun in the bottom lane. And as I say that, he gets killed in the bottom lane by a Screen, but the Axe gets a counter kill on the Juggernaut, so well worth it. And Ghostic, level 6, he's going to continue putting the pressure on. He picked up his Tranquil Boots, and he could even decide to go for a Vanguard this game, as he's sitting on 500 gold on top of the Tranquil Boots, so he doesn't really have any reason to not be a little bit greedy in the lane, as the Sand King is definitely doing a lot of work making sure that this lane works out. He's level 5 on the Sand King as well, which is an insane amount of levels for support here. The supports on the side of Comanche is only level 4, and he's going to get level 6 at a good timing. He will go for pull here, and that is a triple stack camp. He doesn't actually get the 4th stack off. It's kind of difficult to do that as well. He tried to just stack it one more time and pull through, but that didn't happen. Either way, he can farm it with the Sandstorm. He has level 2 Sandstorm, so he can just sit there and farm it easily. The Axe can make sure that it doesn't get contested by just taunting and shoving away whoever tries to go in and leech that. So I'm sure the second they see a free time, the second they see the supports on another lane, or maybe a second after they kill someone, they will definitely go in and try and farm that stack. How they go in, Jonas seems to be a little bit in danger. The cast bounces onto the Sand King, will only bounce one time before it stops. Ghostic will go for TP out. The Dream Call comes out from the Puck as he makes a TP rotation. Looks like Ghostic is going to be a little bit in trouble. Omni Slash will come out to secure it all, as maybe a little bit overkill to use the Omni Slash in that situation, but in those cases, it's pretty much just preying on luck, because if you just hit him and he gets one spin off before dying, then that spin would be enough to get the Juggernaut within the kill threshold for the cull. So he just made sure that the Axe would die with no problems. I would still say it's overkill, but sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, you just want to kill the goddamn person, right? And well, regardless of the Axe being dead, the Sand King is definitely just taking over the lane. He's enjoying himself. He's getting all of that farm that the Axe is missing out on, sitting on 22 lasses right now. And, well, this camp might be, well, he's actually pulling the, what he wants to, I guess he wanted to just, do you even want to stack this? Because you know you're not going to farm it. You know it's going to be the Axe or the Sand King who farms it. So I'm kind of confused why this keeps getting stacked so much. But I guess they're just like, okay, we're going to be able to farm it at some point, but they don't really have a good amount of heroes to farm it. I mean, the Medusa could, the Jug could use a spin or two to farm it with the healing with the healing called the Healing Ward. I guess the Puck could also maybe farm it, but apart from that, I don't really see how that's going to happen. The Conker is in the top lane trying to get his level 6. We'll have it up very soon. Witch Doctor. Some levels. He might be a little bit in danger here. The call comes out. The dunk comes out. And that is a dead Witch Doctor as the Disruptor is trying to chase him. Maybe going for Glimpse. Nah, they don't care about it. There's not really any point trying to go for Glimpse on a puck as he can just AWP himself away. So it's a waste of mana, waste of resources. Alright, let's see Axe Illusions. So the Axe found an Illusion Rune, and what better way to clear camps than having Illusion Runes to do it for them. So that's a lot of fun being gained, and the Axe will get all of those last hits, so that's going to be lovely. The Sand King is buying a little bit of space. He might die from the Maledict. No, he's going to be alive. He gets to borrow a little bit further away. Does he get a TP off? No, he does not. The Illusionary Orb will hit him. The Torrent was a little bit off point, but the Orb will make sure that the Sand King dies. Lots and lots and lots of space, though, from Roger. I mean, despite dying, he makes sure that the camp gets farmed, and that is 4 heroes in the bottom lane just to kill the Sand King. So I'm sure he doesn't really care too much about dying in that situation, and he almost got out. It was so close. So close. See the Axe in the meantime. Not really deciding what to do right now, but I'm sure he will just go for the early blink now. If you go for Vanguard, it's usually very obvious that you want to do that. Usually it's because you can get Vanguard and then pressure the enemy's tier 1. But I think at this point he's probably just safe off going for the blink rush, and that is what he's going to decide to do. He will get it at a very good timing though. Definitely a decent timing. 3-man smoke and coming out to the bottom lane. They want to use the TA very, very early in that fight, and I guess they just want to get a quick kill on the Jug. They go in, they go for the taunt. They don't get it off though. The Omni Slash comes out, the boat comes out. That's a good one. As the Axe will be taken out straight away. Raja is going to be a little bit in danger. The Stack comes out as well. The Juggernaut should be taken down here from the right clicks off the TA, but okay, we'll take a little bit more work than he wanted to make off it. Not a clean kill there from the side of Empire, but they do get the Juggernaut kill in the end. And I guess at least they can tell themselves, well, he used Omni Slash, right? So we have 100 seconds where the Omni Slash is not going to be a thing that he can use against us. We can use that time to finish the blink without really worrying about being ganked or anything like that. The TA has a DD rune available, which is going to give him a lot of damage. And he will start clearing camps. He already cleared the top ancient camps once, and it's been warded now, so there's not going to be any more camp stacking in that camp. At least not anytime soon. And he almost has his Desolator completed with his threats. Let's see what else. The Medusa just hitting creeps farming. Let's see the net worth right now. The lifesteal is number 1, followed by the TA is number 2, as the lifesteal sitting on with that Midas. Almost has his armor complete on top of that. He's already taken down tier 1 town on the top lane on his own, so he's having a good time. Once again, the puck is making rotation to the bottom lane. They're trying to go on Roger. They will go up with the Illusionary Orb. Maybe get a kill on him. They use the Dream Call, as once again Roger is just proving so goddamn annoying not being killed unless you commit loads and loads and loads of spells. They even have to use the spin, they have to use the Dream Call. He's just making so much space in this game. It's actually insane. Like, you might say whatever you want, you know, he's 1-3 and 2, he's dying a lot, but every single time he dies, he is just making them use so many resources for it. And he actually went for the full-on 4-4 skill build, so no points in Epicenter and no points in Caustic. Maybe a little bit overkill, but I mean, you don't really need Epicenter until you have your blink anyways. That's one way of looking at it. Okay, can't go this on Jackal here, but he does not have another Illusionary Orb for the next 3 seconds. They should still be able to kill him. Let's see if they get the vision on him. They can glimpse him back. Did they get the glimpse on him? They tried to cut him off into the trees. But yes, TP and hold on, so he will die no matter what. At least he can buy a little bit of space. He can make a Roger move and just make them use as many spells as possible before dying. And in the end, he will get killed by Ghostic. He took a Static Storm with him in default, so why not? The Axe will finish up his blink in a moment though. He just needs to farm a couple more camps and that blink is going to be available. So big power spike for the side of Empire.
Regeneration.
Alright, 4k lead on the side of Empire, 7,000 experience lead so far. Definitely looking grim for the side of Comanche.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The lifesteal is going to go for a Sanjin Yasha build next. I don't mind that build. Desolator is the normal build, but the thing is, when you're playing against heroes like Medusa, heroes that can counter you, heroes that can get away from you, you can't really rely on your open wounds to chase people, then you rather just want to be more tanky and have more like movement speed as well as having that maim to slow the enemy. So that's why Sanjin Yasha is maybe preferable this game. Like, for example, like Midas, Armlet, S and Y into Assault Crest, so you have lots of HP, you're super tanky, and you still have a decent amount of actually burst damage. Disrupt on Koshka. Farm here on the sidelines. Looks like you might be a bit dangerous here coming to the sidelines. You will pop that Sanic, maybe survive, but never Goku comes out and you will be taken down. The Witch Hunter got killed on the other side though. In the meantime, the Flame comes out from the axe with the Infest Bomb already being in place. And that is a double kill for FN, with the Lifestealer getting the kill on the Juggernaut with the TA as well. So Blink reveal, going into a quick Juggernaut kill, and this is where the Juggernaut's life begins becoming a problem. Sure, the Medusa's farming, you know, he's farming as fast as Medusa can. It's not the fastest farming hero, it's not the slowest. He's just hitting creeps, and he has to just continue doing this until he has the Skadi most likely. As he's going for Yasha straight Skadi. This is like the build you go for when you want to be relevant as quick as possible. Not going for the straight Mantis style, but just getting... Well, when you have Skadi, you become very scary. That's the essence of the story. You're super tanky and you do a decent amount of damage. The slow is annoying, of course. But the Juggernaut, he's going to have a difficult time because he's the one being picked off every single time, and every single time he gets killed, you can just see his net worth plummet further and further behind of the lifesteal as well as the TA. And I kind of fear this is going to continue throughout the game. I don't see a way that the Juggernaut can survive easily in the fights, and especially when you have an AFK farm hero like the Medusa, then someone else have to create the space for this guy to farm. And since the offlaner didn't have a good lane, the safe laner didn't have a good lane, then you're pretty much in a position where you can maybe get a few pickoffs from the supports, and if not, then you're probably just gonna have to try and lose as few towers as possible and just dodge out the enemy if you can. See, Juggernaut, TA, maybe a solo. I don't know if that's a solo kill situation. I don't think he has that much damage, but he's probably just waiting for the axe. Yeah, he's just letting the axe get into position, waiting as much as possible. Or they went for smoke actually, so he's going to be able to pop the smoke as well. He's checking quickly. The walls essentially is going to be pushed down, and the TA will quickly react. Will go for the waistline to get the kill fast enough. No, he does not. The axe actually jumps right into the stun as the Ghost Hit will be hit onto him. The homicide comes out as well. Ghost Hit is going to be a little bit in trouble. He gets a kill on the Witch Doctor, but that is two huge kills for the side of Comanche, killing the TA as well as getting the axe for Witch Doctor. They will take that trade anytime whatsoever. That put the Juggernaut back in a situation where you're maybe not so scared about him ever getting his Mantis style, but that kind of seems like a situation that should never happen. Sometimes people get too greedy, right? Relying on that in this rune. He even saw the Witch Doctor, like he popped the smoke, so obviously he knows that Comanche knows that someone is invis in front of them. And then he could have very quickly checked the Witch Doctor's inventory and seen that he had a sentry, see that he drops the sentry, and then just blink away. But I guess he was just too slow to react, or maybe he was just too greedy, just maybe hoped that he would get the kill anyways. In the end, he has to pay the price. I think that's the will play lineup. They could force the pop his ultimate here, as we do have the Lifesteal popping his raid, trying to go on to the Medusa, but they're going to chill themselves a little bit. They infest the TA, and now they're going to try and go for a chase. As the wind comes back, they go for the Medusa, and this is round 2 as this fight is going to continue. No more man left for the Medusa. The healing water is doing a lot of work. The Medusa is going to be taking down the turn around. The Dream Call is going to come out, and they do get the kill. The Dream Call does stun up the Lifesteal, and the cast, 2-man cast, just keeping on bouncing between the heroes. Apologies. Alright, Medusa gets taken down, the Witch Doctor gets killed as well. The Mana Beam is doing a lot of damage. They get another clip back onto the Conga as Roger goes in with that bling and scouts out for another kill for the team. And that is 3 on the side of Comanche. So, despite losing a couple of calls a second ago, they still show that they are they're the ones commanding this game. They're the ones that determine how the game goes on, because they have the blink advantage, they have the vision advantage, they have the glimpses. double blink being available, actually triple blink being available. So it's just not a game where Comanche have an easy time doing anything. They just now pick up the blink on the puck so they can finally initiate themselves. But even the blink on puck does not feel like an item that will enable them to take fights on their own terms. At least not 5-on-5 fights. They can maybe look for pickoffs, but I don't think they want to fight into Empire at all right now, especially with the Aegis being available. Like, you know, killing the TA once is already a very, very big ask, but killing him twice? Not gonna happen.
Come and get it! A gift from the Tempest of Battle.
Not gonna happen, boys. We'll see, though. You never know what happens. Everything can happen. Empire, 10,000 net worth lead so far. Almost the same thing in terms of experience. The blade mill is going to be completed in a moment from the axe, which means he's going to be able to more or less solo kill the Juggernaut. Let's see in the background. So, okay, the Sand King actually gets jumped on, as they had a ward here scouting out still Sand King's movement. They went to the X mark play, and let's see the Destroyer might be picked off as well. Exactly goes to the Dream Cult. Limbs comes back on him. He's trying to survive here with Power doing his very best. Goes for the Static Bomb as well. At least, well, doesn't really kill the Jug, but you know, he's being annoying. Both Roger and Miposhka, they always when they're about to die, they always just, you know, how annoying can I be before I die? And I guess that's how annoying you can be. It's never ideal to lose 2 heroes without getting anything in return, but I guess tier 1 town in top lane, the TD tower should be taken down as well, as that is a DD Templar Assassin, but he does not want to commit because he doesn't know what's happening right now. He saw the Medusa push the tier 1 town in mid lane, but he doesn't really know where the rest of the team is, so that's why he just plays it safe. He doesn't want to be in a situation where he gets killed with Aegis alone, and then he ends up just losing 2 lives without getting anything in return, so just plays it safe. BKB will be completed very soon. Scan comes out from the Radiant side. They actually scanned the Axe very, very nicely down here, so they know he's down here. They know that he's probably with an infested lifestealer, so the question is, do they dodge it or do they bait it? That's the 2 things we will have to see, because baiting an Axe plus lifesteal is going to be difficult, but if they successfully bait them, that is going to be a very big win. I'll see the Juggernaut goes through. Scan the Axe. Looks like he knows that something is up. The Juggernaut is not just showing himself and using spin for no reason, but he might still go for it. Looks like he's going to be greedy, goes for the initiate to get the blade ball off. He's surviving for now, and he actually gets the bait off properly. As Comanche, they punished this move from Team Empire. They scanned them out earlier, so they knew exactly what was going to be happening, and despite the Juggernaut maybe being killed after a few more spins were to come out, he survives, and well, that's another 2 big core kills. So considering being behind by 10,000 gold and also being behind in Aegis right now, getting that kind of fight is a dream for Comanche. That is a dream.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
See the Medusa getting very close towards that Scotty. He's going to have it up in 100 gold. So this is the point where you actually finally can say that you have a Medusa in the game. Because until now, I don't think anyone has seen the Medusa do anything in the game apart from this one time where he used his ultimate and tried to survive but still died. The Scotty will maybe change things. Let's see what we have Comanche. The way he's not trying to juke around the tree, but FN is going for the dive either way though. He really wants this kill. Maybe you should use the trap so you get vision. Yep, indeed he uses the trap in the end. Gets the vision. I mean, that just seems like it's like a greedy thing. You don't even want to use the trap because you think he's not going to juke you that much, and then he jukes you insanely much, and then you're like, okay, I'll use a trap. Well, you know, space. Space, guys.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See, FN pushing the mid lane, still has that Aegis available. The Scotty's doing a little bit of work. Goes in, let's see, goes in, lane with the KeyArena, the back comes out, he's doing a lot of work, he does get the thing down, does get taken away. BKB gets popped by FN on that CA, they're trying to burst down the Medusa, but he's so goddamn tanky, they get the kill finally. And I'll see the tank will have to pay the price. The Juggernaut is a little bit in danger. No, it's going to be able to no Omnis Knight doing nothing. He gets Spin right back. FN might be taken down the first time, but that's just the Aegis. As Medusa as well as the Juggernaut is both dead, so Empire taking a very, very risky fight, but it works out in their favor. The puck is going to be picked off maybe on the sidelines. They have a little bit of a jump. 3 seconds and they can go for the glimpse on the puck. Let's see if they get the glimpse. No, they do not. He's out of range. Boschke is not able to get that. See, tier 2 tower gets taken down the mid lane. They're going for the tier 3 tower as well as both the Juggernaut and the Medusa bought out for the items, so they do not have a buyback available. This could very easily be the racks being lost. Lyca will infest the catapult and start hitting with that siege damage. The axe goes in for a call on the Witch Doctor. The Witch comes up, maybe doing a little bit of work against the axe. They go for the Shrine as well, trying to survive. And the axe will just end up going for a TP out. Doesn't get X marked in time, and he will survive. They get out, they get the tier 3 tower, and now it's just about surviving without losing too many people. FN is sitting invisibly here in the tree line. It doesn't look like they know that. He gets the TP out on the support disruptor as well, so everything is good. As long as Templar Assassin survives, everything is fine. They could have maybe committed a little bit harder to get the racks as well if they didn't try to go for a jump in the meantime, but either way, it would have been like they would have gotten the racks after the two calls would have respawned. So it's usually just a safer play to back up, wait for the next Aegis, take shrines. There's loads of things you can do after you take a tier 3 tower. So they can take the shrines. That's gonna be a good amount of gold going that way, and then afterwards they can wait for the Roshan to respawn, get the next Aegis, and then go high ground again.
A gift from the Tempest of Battle.
Alright, looks like Lyfl's going to go for his Assault Grasp build next up. Obviously, no Desolator because the TA has a Deso already. Sanjin Yasha, nice tankiness for him as well. And when that AC is completed, killing him is going to be very, very hard. Yeah, running down to the bottom lane as well, trying to get a Butterfly as the next big item. The axe is going towards a BKB, and the Disruptor making small steps towards an Aghanim Scepter. That is a huge item for the Disruptor to get, but it is not without reach because he only needs 1800 more gold before that is completed, so it might actually happen this game. Sanking, Blink and Eel Scepters, the 2 items he's wishing to get. Witch Doctor, not really anything. Medusa trying to get that Mantis Skull next on top of the Skadi. The Juggernaut has his Diffusion Blade completed, and the Puck is trying to finish a Aghanim Scepter, but it's not really been the best puck game in the world, so maybe a little bit hard to secure that. Mechanism on the Conquer, which is actually a fairly good item to have. I mean, all things considered, the early game considered, having a Mechanism on your position for support is still decent. Alright, top lane, let's see. Okay, Cloud maybe being a little bit too greedy. I'm not sure what happened there. I think he actually tried to Illusionary Orb and farm the creep wave. Maybe he lasted the tower or something like that, but that's a greedy play. And definitely does not pay off. He ends up losing his life.
I'll take your tribute.
See? Hours really fly by in these kind of things. Hours fly by. It's already the 3rd game of the day. It doesn't feel like that, but be in danger, but he does have his BKB available. Looks like they do know that he's there. Goes for the BKB TP out, knowing that he does not want to take any chances about living in the scenario. Nice little Sentry was spotting him out there, though. He was trying to be a little bit cheeky there. I'm not sure if they scouted him before he went in this or anything like that, but they had that kill wall, so for sure they just saw him going to the ball and then they tried to turn around and hop in and like this and build and they just concentrate. Will be able to survive for now. Go to the TP back home. May survive, but that Mallet, it got a lot of damage off on him. It's going to pop him once. He needs to get a nice toggle off. Does he survive? Oh, barely surviving. 100 HP left. That was a little bit too close for comfort, but I suppose as long as you can rage TP out, everything is fine. Alrighty. Roger with his eel stepper completed. BKB on the axe as well. FN does have that butterfly complete as well, moving towards the diffusional blade next, I guess. Well, burning the mana of the Medusa is always useful because, like, his HP is his mana, and his mana is his HP, so you might as well just try to burn that as quick as possible. Bloodthorn could also be a pretty nice item, but the Fusion Blade is not bad. I guess he also maybe thinks that perhaps the Witch Doctor gets a Ghost Scepter or something like that. There's multiple reasons why you would get a Diffusion Blade. It's just a value damage item in the end. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Bloodthorn is probably the better item, because it feels like at this point you have like one slot left, so you kind of just want to get that big damage item. But maybe he's going with Diffusion and then he will replace the Desolator later on with the Bloodthorn, or perhaps even replace his boots with Bloodthorn since he has Butterfly, so he has a movement speed item already. But we'll see. Smoke Gang comes out, they go in, they make a big move, let's see who they're going for. I'm not sure if they're going to Medusa, but looks like that's going to be the play that tries to break it down. The other step they got off, that is on nice boat coming out, but most of these heroes they are BKB, 3 of them are BKB, so the boat only hits 1 of those 4. And the Medusa will be paid off, the Witch Doctor is going to be taken out, trying to get that Malefit and Death Ward off. Dim's back on the counter, he's going to be right back into the frying pan as he will be killed as well. The bug is trying to do as much damage as he can, almost killing the Sand King, but it's just not good enough. Shackle will have to get back in the base and just, well, protect as much as he can. As there's 3 people dead, no buybacks available. And Empire, they're looking to get at least 1 set of frags, most likely more than that, as that's a lot of time without your Medusa. The Juggernaut is available, but there's only so much a Jug with Mantle Diffusional can do at this point in the game against a TA with Refraction, against with Butterfly, against a Lifesteal with AC. There's just no way that he can kill them. That is 2 sets of frags being taken down. A lot of damage being done to the buildings, and let's see, that is going to be a 20,000 net worth lead so far on the side of Empire. Looks like they know what's happening up here in the top lane. They saw the Juggernaut pass by the shrine area, so they have a pretty good idea of what's happening up here. They will go in, they will use the ult set. It looks like they will be able to get close up. Oh, they missed the taunt. He messes it up as he actually uses it too early, so they don't get the taunt on the Jug. So that could have been the game-ending move, just killing the Juggernaut there and then moving in again. Did he have buyback available? No, he did not. So if he was killed, that would have been insane. But either way, let's see. Axe goes in, gets the 2-man taunt off, tries to give a little bit of space for that Roshan to be finished up. They get the Aegis on F, and Ghosting might drop down. He's taking a lot of damage, but that BKB is keeping him alive very nicely. Spin comes out from the Jug. He's trying to get himself away. He knows that without having that Omnislash available, surviving is not going to be easy. The Pug barely escapes the clutches of that Borrow Strike from the Sand King, and looks like Shackle is going to be fine for now. Does have another patient available, but they get the taunt on him with the axe, and that is the end. As Ghostic doesn't care about having low HP, he will go for anything.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Coughing is annoying, man. Having a sore throat feels bad, man. Alright, well, another good fight for the side of Empire. They get just one little kill, but they get a kill on the puck, they secure the Aegis, and they force the Omnislash to be used. So the next minute's time, the Omnislash is not going to be available from the side of Comanche, and no Omnislash. I mean, when you're 23,000 net worth behind, I'm pretty sure you need everything that you can get to win a fight. So every spell needs to be available. The Medusa is trying to go for an MKB at this point. You might even consider going for Rapier. The only reason you wouldn't try and get a Rapier at this point is basically the fact that the TA has evasion, so Rapier is not really a value item unless you can get the maximum amount of damage out from it. So MKB is like, you know, the next big YOLO item that you can think about. And let's see, TA gets forced to use his BKB in the mid lane, doesn't take any chances. X marks and cast in the face and whatnot, so he rather just wants to use the BKB and then survive. I mean, it's just a cooldown at this point. He doesn't have any more value seconds left on the BKB, so it's nothing but a 60-second cooldown. Alright, Sand King. Almost a 4-staff as well. 400 gold away. Lifesteal just has his ult available now. He's going for the Bloodthorn himself. That makes sense. This is another very big late game damage item for a hero like Lifesteal. You already have so much tankiness with the AC and the Sanjin Yasha, so it's just all about getting damage and killing the enemy heroes at the moment. And let's see how they can do that. Glimpse back on the Medusa, just trying to give a little bit of space for that Lifesteal to do his work on the tower. Popping his rage, bringing the tower down to about half HP before backing up. In the meantime, in the mid lane, that is an Omni Slash being used and actually securing a kill on the jug from the jug on the axe. Not that often you see an axe being solo killed in that situation, but I guess just got outplayed. Didn't see it though. Whoops.
Blessings.
Ready, guys? Let's see. This is the final push, the final go. Cheese available on the Lifesteal. They're ready to do it. They have the Aegis and the TA for a little bit longer. So let's see. Are they going to be able to do anything? That's an interesting infest bomb to test the creep wave. But either way, the TA almost took down the tower. Just chipping it down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Doing a lot of damage, but it's not enough. The Aegis and the TA will be popped very quickly. Debbie goes back, pop his cheese right for the moment. And luckily the Juggernaut is going to be fighting up against the TA. The TA is trying to survive in the backline. The Sankin went into the epicenter. Didn't get any kills though. It looks like everyone is going to be fine so far, but the puck gets taken down as the Orchid comes out and the keeps him in control. The Axel's in for a call. And does he get it off? Yes, he does get it off, and they can't get Medusa gets control. In the meantime, gets wheeled up in the air, gets thrown away. The Rax gets taken down. The TA goes in, takes down whatever he can bring with him, and he will blink himself away, try to escape the Medusa. GG gets called as the Rax is gone, and that is Mega Creeps, 3 people being dead. So Comanche, they know that taking another fight after Empire go back and buy the next set of items is not going to be happening. So they just GG out now already. There's a lot of games to be played for every team today and tomorrow in the CIS regional, so you might as well save your energy because this is not looking good. And well, as expected, Empire they go away with the victory. Comanche they actually did bring up a pretty good fight though. There was some plays in the game that actually looked very nice, punishing